Anyone know where that is? Yep. It's either the north or the south. Excellent point. It is, in fact, the south. This is Antarctica, one of my favorite places. I've been there 5 times. As a scientist, that's one of the cool things that you get to do. You get to go off and have adventures in cool places, and this is very cool. I'm showing you some pictures of Antarctica. I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of the experiences I had there. When we have the questions, we can talk about any others or afterwards, but there's just one thing I wanted to tell you about. But first of all, the thing that I want to tell you about happened at the South Pole. Now, who thinks that there's a pole at the South Pole? Is there really a pole at the South Pole? Hands up if you think there's a pole at the South Pole. Well, there is. Here it is. That is the South Pole. It really is. It's right there on the bottom of the world. It's the South Pole. It's a barber's pole. It's been put there by the Americans. I'm cheating a little bit here, because you don't hang off the bottom of the South Pole when you go to Antarctica. This is a friend of mine doing a handstand. But anyway, this is the pole at the South Pole. But this is me at the South Pole too, just away from there's a big base there. You can have showers there, you can use computers there, you can do all sorts, but you don't have to go very much further to be in the middle of nowhere. And this feels like, this is me, and this feels like you're on a planet, a different planet, not Venus, somewhere very, very cold. There's nothing there at all, just ice. But if you look at the ice that I'm standing on, any idea how thick that ice is that I'm standing on? Guesses, please, yeah? That thick. So that's about, what, about half a metre? Anyone else? Anyone else how thick, yeah? 3 meters. Anyone higher? Higher, come on, up there, yeah? 5 meters, keep going. Anyone else, yeah? 30 meters. Anyone else? 50 meters, you're way off. You are way off. Yeah? 100 meters. Okay, so the ice that I'm standing on is 4,000 meters thick. 4,000 meters. It's a mountain of ice. And the way it's formed is snow falls at the South Pole, and when the snow falls, it gets a little bit of air trapped in it, and it's just like normal snow, but it gets squashed and squeezed down, and it doesn't melt. And then more snow falls on the top, and more snow falls on the top, and you turn it into ice, and more on the top, and more on the top, until you get this thick mountain of ice. You get a bit almost dizzy. You get kind of high altitude sickness, and it's very, very cold. And when you breathe in, it's like you breathe powder into your nose, and it's a very strange place to be. But I'm telling you about how thick the ice is there, right in the middle of the continent, because you can drill down into that ice. This is an ice core. And I don't know if you're going to get a chance to go up to the climate change gallery that they have here at the Science Museum, but there is one of these cores from Antarctica in the gallery. You can see it. You can really see a piece of ice from Antarctica in the gallery. And I find this particularly exciting because here we are at this particular place, 3,270 meters is how deep this particular ice core went. 3,270. And if you go down and you drill down and you're drilling down, you're not just drilling down into the ice, you're also drilling backwards in time, because each of those layers of the ice was formed from snow that fell a long time ago. So the one at the top fell very recently, and the one at the bottom fell a long time ago. So as you drill down, this is the deepest core that's actually been successfully drilled in Antarctica. Any idea how old the ice is right at the very bottom of this core? Guesses, yeah? 300 years. Now you're going to have to go much further back than that. Come on, yeah? 16,000, still much further back, yeah? 1 million years. That's got closer now. The oldest ice ever recovered from Antarctica, 800,000 years old. You can have a piece of snow that fell 800,000 years ago. And that was before humans had even evolved. We hadn't been invented when that snow was falling, and now you can touch it, which I think is really cool. And that ice still has the pieces of air that were trapped by the snow when it first fell. You can melt it, you can smell it, you can smell air that was around 800,000 years ago. I've done it. In fact, when I was there, they drilled the very bottom of this core, And they, to celebrate the fact that they'd finished it, they actually broke it up into bits of ice, and they gave us champagne. And they put the ice in the champagne so we could toast it. We could have melted ice from 800,000 years ago. I have to admit, it tasted a bit of drilling fluid, if you ask me. But, you know, it was still quite a privilege.